started the first conservative blogger conference in the nation, Right Online, and we did a lot of different trainings through that program, and then moved on to work on campaigns, and now I own my own digital communications firm. So, civic engagement in the digital age. I'm basically going to be going over some of the basics, stats, and basics of social media platforms, and some best practices. I also have some handouts in the back. One has all of the Twitter handles for the legislature and the statewide. Very, very handy. One has some best practices, and the other one is 5 easy steps to get on Twitter. So let's start with the social media landscape. 2.3 billion people are on social media, are active on social media. That is a lot of folks. 1 million new active mobile users are added every day. Mobile users meaning people that access Facebook and Twitter and Instagram on their phones. When it comes to civic engagement, 1/3 of active users often or sometimes post about government and politics on social media, and that number is growing. Facebook and Twitter have attracted an audience that is heavily invested in news and current events. 8 in 10 social media users feel these platforms help others get involved with issues that matter to them. That's really important. And then this last stat, I think, is very significant in the world that we live in when it comes to grassroots activism, is that 1 in 5 social media users have changed their minds about a political issue because of something they saw on Facebook, on social media, on Twitter. So, you know, when you're posting on your personal pages about particular candidates or particular political views, a lot of your friends and family may not be interested in the political world, but it may change their minds. And then when it comes to the legislature, 92% of the Texas legislature is on Twitter and 96% on Facebook. And when it comes to those numbers, about 76% of them are actually active on their accounts. So basically, social media is kind of a big deal. And then here's the breakdown of where people are. Most people, as we know, are on Facebook, and that's growing every single day. Twitter, a lot of reporters, a lot of political activists, a lot of celebrities on Twitter. Instagram is growing more and more every single day. I've said this for a couple years now that Instagram was going to outdo Snapchat, and now Snapchat's not, or Snapcat, as some people call it, I guess, is now on the decline. But there are a lot of people that you can reach out to. This is where people live now. Most people statistically, people spend more time on Facebook than they do with their pets. That's pretty amazing. Well, sad and amazing. But some of them are posting pictures of their pets, so that's good. So what's the difference between all of these different platforms? I know, you hear all these new things popping up every time. We have, Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Instagram, Snapchat, all of it. Well, I like to compare it to my favorite thing, baked goods, desserts. While they're all desserts, they're all different, and that's how they should be treated. It's all social media, they're all social media platforms, but the way you post on them, the way you use them, are different. So, Facebook would be like the pie, and Twitter would be the cake, and Instagram maybe cupcakes. And then when it comes to demographics, you got to know your audience. Who are you trying to reach? These are some of the stats on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter of who's really, what age groups are online and those on those different platforms. So if you're trying to reach kind of the younger crowd, you would go with, Instagram, and maybe Twitter. But if you're going for an overall older demographic, you would reach out on Facebook. Because that number, that's the 65 plus, is actually growing at a rapid pace. I mean, I knew when my mom got on Facebook, this was going to blow up. And she's basically her own amateur FBI agent. So when it comes to all these platforms, content is king. This is something I get a lot of questions about. What do I need to be posting? How should I be posting it? So let's talk about content. Here are some do's and don'ts. So what you want to do is follow other grassroots leaders if you're not doing so already, reporters, legislators, so you can keep up with what the overall conversation is online. Look up and follow relevant hashtags. So this is for Twitter. Hashtags are, that little pound sign with a word after it. It's basically a topic. So if you're looking up a topic, like you would look up, if you're trying to keep up with what's going on in the legislature, you would use hashtag TextLeg. And everybody that's talking about that topic, you'll be able to see what they're talking about. Change up content with graphics and multimedia. By multimedia, I mean videos or GIFs, just, not just plain text. Use action words. This is really important. I think it's something that people forget about. If you ask somebody to do something, they're more willing to do it. If you ask somebody to share, if you ask somebody to like something, if you ask somebody to comment, they're more willing to do it than if you just put out your opinion and you just leave it at that. So remember to use those action words. Update regularly, mixing business with pleasure. And by this I mean, don't make it just all political or all business. Mix in some dog photos. Maybe we'll want to see what's going on with your pets or your kitties or whatever, or what's going on in your life and your personal life. It makes it more interesting. You need to give people something to come back to, something that they actually want of you, not just business all the time. Always tag when it comes to your photos. I can't stress this enough. It broadens your reach. So not just your friends see it, but their friends will see it too, and their friends' friends. It's kind of like a force multiplier when you, oh, that's even better. See, we got a little dim action over here. So I know it takes a long time. It can be time consuming to take the time to tag or to write what you were up to do the descriptions when it comes to photo albums or different photos you post online, but it's absolutely worth it if you're trying to reach out to a bigger audience. Shorten and track URLs. What I mean by that is there are apps like Bitly where you log in through your Twitter account and you put in a long, you know how some news sites, their URLs for a story is just like so long and you have only so many characters to use. You would go on there, paste the URL, and it'll make it a really short URL for you. And then you can go back to Bitly and see how many clicks it got, where the clicks came from, what platforms they came from, so you can kind of track. Are these articles interesting to people? Are people actually clicking on what I'm posting out there instead of just wondering? Engage with others. I can't stress that enough, because at the end of the day, social is social. I don't know if some of y'all have heard about Facebook changing up how they're doing their news feeds, or how their system is gonna figure out what's gonna go in your news feed. But they're changing their algorithm, and the algorithm is basically going back to this concept of social being just that, social. So the things that you're gonna start seeing pop up in your news feed are gonna be things that Facebook sees as engaging. engaging enough for people to actually comment on and have longer comments on, real meaningful conversations. So keep that in mind when you're posting stuff. If you're posting something that's going to spark a conversation within the comments, it's most likely going to be boosted and seen on more people's news feeds. And sing praise. When elected officials are doing something good, I know they hear it all day, every day, what they're doing wrong, but when they're doing something good, it's nice to sing them praise. And more than likely, they're going to retweet you, or they're going to repost you, or they're going to like it. And that broadens what you're doing, and it shows them that you're paying attention to what they're doing, not just the negative stuff. And then also, do stay on top of the news. I put this up here because back when I worked on the Dewhurst campaign, we stayed on top of the news every day. I look at Twitter every morning to see what people are talking about, because I follow a lot of different reporters and a lot of grassroots leaders. And one morning, everybody was talking about the fact that Hannity had said on his radio show, I believe, that he was considering moving to Texas. So we thought, let's capitalize on that. He wants to move to Texas? Okay, we had Governor Dewhurst write a letter to him saying, hey, come on over. We'd love to have you here in Texas. We came up with, and because of that letter, he asked to interview Dewhurst. We took that interview and we touted that interview, but we also made it into a little animation video. We also made it into an online petition for email list growth, meaning people signed a petition for, I'm sure y'all have seen some petitions online where you enter your information and it's like, oh, well, tell somebody, tell Trump we support you on the wall or whatever. This one was, tell Hannity to come down to Texas, move down to Texas. We want you to move down here. But it was a way it broadened our reach significantly. It increased the email addresses that we had, and I felt like it was a fun, successful little thing, and all because we paid attention to what was going on in the news and what was relevant in the news. All right, some of the don'ts. My number one don't is do not use auto feeds. They are the devil. And what I mean by auto feeds is, I don't know if you've seen, maybe on Facebook or on Twitter, somebody will post on Facebook and you look at their Twitter and it's automatically, whatever they post on Facebook automatically got posted on their Twitter, and you see like a little Facebook link to go back to Facebook to see whatever that post was. Terrible. Like I said, these platforms are all different. Facebook is Facebook. The way you would post on Facebook is what you need to be posting on Facebook. The way you post on Twitter with hashtags and keeping it to 280 characters, that's its own thing. The way you would post on Instagram, which is a more visual platform with photos, nothing but photos and videos, that's completely different. Nobody wants to go to Twitter to click on a Facebook, to click on a link to go to Facebook. They're already on Twitter. So it's not beneficial. It's just a sign of laziness, honestly. They're not helpful. It's not helpful to you if you're trying to broaden your reach and actually use the platforms the way they're intended to be used. Don't get personal or negative toward others. Keep your cool. I've seen some crazy conversations on Twitter. And it tends to get nasty. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody's going to respond well to you being ugly to people online. So I know things get heated during the political cycle. Just keep your cool. Don't overdo it with hashtags. There is such thing as hashtag fatigue. Have you ever seen these people that post, hashtag just chilling on a Saturday, hashtag some other random thing, and it's just like a couple, hashtag blessed, hashtag everything else, and it's nothing but a whole bunch of hashtags on their page? That's not helpful. It's not helping them with their reach, and it's not helping them with their message. It's too much. Pick 1 to 2 topical hashtags to use that are that are well known that other people are going to be searching for, other topics people are going to be searching for, not just coming up with random things and putting a pound sign in front of it. Do not neglect to proofread. Everybody wants to be the first one to say something on whatever's going on. A lot of people make the mistake of not going back and looking at what they're actually typing. There's so many, there are a lot of different mistakes I can think of, but even national companies have made this mistake where, it was Yahoo Finance last year posted something on, I want to say it was on Facebook or on Twitter, I don't remember which, but talking about Trump wanting a bigger Navy. But instead of bigger, they accidentally typed an N and not a B, and that went viral. Yes. So that becomes national news, right? Just be careful. It takes 1 second to go back and reread whatever sentence you're putting online. Lots of different examples of that. I know, I've seen them all. Don't let your social content distract from, if you're working for a candidate or you have a core message, don't let it distract from whatever your message is. Stay on topic if, and on message if you have a candidate or a core message. And don't forget to ensure you are not tweeting personal tweets from a campaign account or the Harris GOP account. Make sure you're on the right thing, because I've seen plenty of people, tweet some personal tweet and it's from a professional account. And then, then somebody screen grabs it real quick and that, it becomes the buzz for the day. So just make sure you're cognizant of what you're doing when you're doing it. If you're on multiple accounts, that you're on the correct account. Now, different types of content. You could live tweet or live stream events. I'm sure y'all have seen, Facebook Live is becoming a big thing. You can do it from your phone. It's super easy. People kind of want to feel like they're there. Live tweeting has been around forever. I know Felicia knows this. Where you're at an event and, maybe you tweet what the some really great points that the speaker, like me, are coming up with. So people kind of feel like they're there, or it's a way for you to bookmark or take notes, or for your audience to get something out of, even though they're not presently here. So that's something you could do. Photos of key campaign events or key group, organization events, promoting other grassroots leaders and issue bloggers, telling people they're doing a good job, or promoting a really great blog piece that you saw that you think other people should be sharing. Get out the vote and supporter graphics, coming up with something that tells people to go vote. People are very visual, and we're now in a 280 character society. People got a short attention span, so, like a little graphic with a little, vote button or something to catch their attention. Retweet positive comments about your candidate or organization. That's a way to generate content that you're not having to come up with personally, but it gives you content. Compliment your champions, your issue champions, and like I said, mix business with pleasure. Add in a cute little puppy photo or something in the mix. And then pushing key messages. Be a force multiplier. This is something I do when I have like a big issue campaign or a message that I want to get out there, is you make things simple for people. So what I have done in the past is I'll come up with like 10 tweets that are on message for whatever issue that I'm dealing with. I'll come up with the tweets for people where they just have to literally copy and paste and plug it into their stuff. Because if you make it easy for people, people are more likely to go ahead and do it. If it's only going to take them a second of their time and they don't have to come up with the tweets themselves, it's going to multiply your message so much easier, so much faster, and people are going to be more likely to do it. And then I've also done exclusive calls. So if I have a candidate or I have somebody special that I have access to, or a legislator that that has a bill, a really important bill on the floor that's going to go on the floor, I'll try and set up a special call for some of the most active tweeters out there, only for them, with special access to this person to discuss that issue or to discuss that bill. Because at the end of the day, people want to feel special. That's just human nature, right? And if they're invited to a special exclusive call with direct access to people that they may not have access to, they're more likely to tweet about whatever that issue is, if it's really, it's a really important issue to your cause, and to promote your message.
So are you saying actually talking on the phone?
Yeah, talking on the phone, just having a conference call.
Thing?
You can have a group thing. It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to get people on a conference call. And there's, those free conferencecall.com and stuff like that you could use. But it's just a good way to amplify your message, honestly. Or, if there's a bill that's really important to you, to have that deeper conversation with the legislator and get the talking points that you need. And plan ahead. So social media can be really overwhelming. And if you're on it, you got to be on it. You can't just have a social media account and not have any content, or post once a week. It can't be sporadic like that, because you're not going to keep the attention of people, and you've got to stay in people's minds. There's millions of people, billions of people tweeting and posting and Facebooking each day. Not everybody's going to make it into the news feed. And if you're not posting at all, you're not in people's minds. Your issue's not in their minds. They're not thinking about it. But it can be overwhelming when you're trying to think of, what am I going to post today? How many times do I need to be posting? So what I do is I'll come up with a content calendar, like an editorial calendar, and this is what I mean by this. I'll have an Excel sheet, and I'll lay out, every row is a day, right? And there's some things that you can automatically play. It's keeping track of. It's like a little calendar for you, and it's keeping track of what you're posting when. And there's some things that you can automatically think of in advance. Important holidays that you want to do a holiday message or whatever, you can plug that in automatically. Historical events, just all sorts of stuff based on dates. But it's a good visual way for you to sit down and think, okay, this month, what do I really want to post, and what can I plan ahead? What are things that I can plan ahead when it comes to content? That way you're not overwhelmed trying to come up with every single day. And if something pops up during the day, you've already got content planned, and you have stuff that's relevant for whatever the day is and whatever's going on in the news. I have a sample content calendar on my website. I'm going to put up the website URL and password after this presentation, because you can go to my website, you log in, and you can download the Excel sheet, a sample Excel sheet for you to look at. Because it has, when it comes to campaigns, days out from the campaign, because you could do 50 days, $50, whatever. There's a lot of things you can plan out, but that way you can see exactly what I'm talking about. You'll have access to an Excel sheet that you can use or edit for yourself. Don't shy away from being creative. We don't have to be so boring. We've got to show our personalities online, because it's important to keep people engaged in that way. And you're engaging in person, right? You have your own personality, show it online, be witty. If you're, can come up with some quick one-liners or whatever. There's a lot of really engaging, creative content out there. I don't know if this is going to work. Oh, we don't have the audio put in. But, here's an example of a couple things that I did on the Do Hers campaign that were out of the realm of what you would see from a political candidate. So he had his own theme song, right? But something that's creative and that people aren't doing. And then, I don't know if y'all saw last campaign cycle, Jared Doherty's re-elect video that went viral. I think it ended up on Fox News or whatever. I don't know if I can even get to that, but I'm not sure I'm plugged into this. Am I? No, I'm not connected to it. Boo-hoo. Well, that's something to look up because that's something that's really creative and neat that you could do.
Who was that?
Gerald Doherty. His name's right. Can you see it at the bottom? And then, do y'all remember that Roger Williams for Congress won the Donkey Whisperer that was on Facebook? Or not, on YouTube and ended up on Fox News? Hilarious. Oh, thank you. But just be creative. You can show a personality online. It's, huh?
Cutting pork, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Castrating them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, show your personality. At the end of the day, that's what people want to see. These are they're conversations, but they're online conversations, just like you would have your, you have your personality in real life. You need to show your personality online. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I get this question all of the time. When do I need to be posting? What are the best times to post? What days are the best? So here I've kind of laid out a general sense of, for a general audience of when would be good. So Facebook, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's when most people are not at work or, they have a little bit more free time at the end of the week to kind of be trolling through Facebook. For my mom, that's every day of the week. But these are typically the days. The best times to post for Facebook is, 1 to 4 p.m., late into the week and on weekends. You'll also catch some people in the evening if you post around like 8 o'clock after dinner, when everybody's kind of settled in for the night. They're on their, they're on their phones or they get on their desktops and they're kind of looking through to see what people have been posting throughout the day. So the evening's pretty good too. But these are some, some good times up here. And then for Twitter, Wednesday for some reason is a really good day. Maybe it's the middle of the week. People are ready to be distracted. I'm not sure what it is, but Wednesday is a really good day for Twitter. And these, I could always email these times to Vlad. If I send them to you, will you send this to everybody?
Yes.
Okay. Or I could also post this presentation on my handouts, but I'll make sure y'all get this so y'all aren't having to scribble down a bunch of notes. Now what? Make it manageable. Like I said, it can be kind of overwhelming. All of the social media and when to post and what to post. You can use third-party applications, meaning stuff like Bitly or TweetDeck. Has anybody ever used TweetDeck before, or Hootsuite? Well, y'all back there. It's just an easier way to keep track of all the conversations you can see on Twitter and Facebook at once. So you could always use stuff like that. Put it on your phone. That's where I was just talking to this young lady up here about putting her Facebook on her phone a minute ago. But everybody's mobile. Everybody's moving around, doing things, posting from different locations. So put it on your phone, make it easier for yourself. Pick one platform, either Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, whatever you want to be on. Learn it and respect its power. So learn how you should be posting on that particular platform, master it, and then when you feel like you've gotten that mastered, then try and take on Twitter or Instagram. You don't have to be on all things, because you're not going to be a master at all of it if you feel overwhelmed or you're not doing it correctly. You're not going to maximize what you're doing if you're on everything and overwhelmed. So just pick one thing and then move on to the next. Like I said, create a content calendar, and then don't think of it as one more thing to do. This is something that's gonna, at the end of the day, gonna benefit your cause, your message, your candidate. This is where people live now. People are online, and this is, you gotta reach them where they are, and this is where they are. So this is the URL that I was talking about. It's esvcreative.com/handouts. And the password is log me in, with the I being a number 1. So this will give you access to the handouts that I have in the back, and then a few more. I'll go ahead and post my presentation up there as well, so you can get some of the tidbits that were in there, and some of those best practices and best posting times. Does anybody have any questions?
I'm just totally lost.
Oh, you're lost. Oh, no. All right.
Absolutely lost.
What is your biggest concern with Facebook or social media?
I don't know how to send, how to retrieve. I don't know any of this.
Are you on Facebook?
I have a Facebook.
You have a Facebook
That's
account.
it.
How do you
And
access
I
it?
don't know if I'm private or public. I just.
Oh, girl, get with me here. I'll go over there. I'll go over there. I'll help you out. Don't worry about that. I'll get you set up, okay?
Us older generations, we just don't get it.
Once you get on it, you're not going to get off it. I promise you that. Did you have a question? Yes.
Yeah, I have a Facebook account now, and it's basically friends and family all over the country.
Uh-huh.
Should I isolate that now, or create a new Facebook account just for my political views and my local people? Or should I keep what I have and utilize it? Because I've been posting political stuff for 10 years, ever since Facebook came around.
Has there been a negative effect to that?
Never.
Keep your page, but like I said, if you feel like it's political heavy, your content is political heavy on your personal page, mix in some of your personal stuff, and it'll be a little bit more balanced. Yeah, but no, you don't need another.
She asked about public,
Uh-huh.
because I have the same question. Do we go public with it, but then we open the door up for a lot of possible
So here's what I do with
patients?
yeah exactly. Here's what I do with my own personal account. I started on Facebook back when it came out, 2004, 2005, right? When it was just a bunch of college kids. And we never thought it would be Nordstrom and everybody, and my mom and everybody else on Facebook. But it's grown. So I've kind of had to evolve with that too, and those questions of, do I keep my Facebook